What if that ache in your lower back is not a verdict of age, but a quiet conversation your body has been trying to start for years? For most of us over 50, it's a story we've come to accept. We shrug it off as a simple consequence of getting older, but the truth is far more hopeful. It isn't age, it's adaptation. For decades, your spine has been silently conforming to the way you sit, the way you move, the way you carry your life. And now, it is asking for your attention. That pinch of sensation when you stand, the morning stiffness as you put on your socks, the persistent ache that settles in when you sit just a little too long, this is not a sign of weakness. It is not the inevitable wear and tear of time. It is a pattern, and a pattern can be unlearned, retrained, and ultimately relieved. In the moments to come, I will guide you through 4 powerful, science-backed movements. These are not mere stretches, they are neuromuscular resets, designed to restore the natural, elegant balance of your spine, sometimes in less than a minute. Each one has been chosen to unlock one of the most overlooked yet pivotal joints in your lower back, a place that holds more influence over your movement and pain than most of us ever realize. Before we begin this journey together, we'd love to feel a connection with you. Feel free to share your name and where you're joining us from in the comments below. Now, let us begin. For millions of people over 50, lower back pain has become so common it has woven itself into the very fabric of the expected. But here is a secret your doctor may never have shared. The pain you feel is often not born in the muscle. Its source is frequently a joint that stopped moving correctly years ago, specifically the lumbosacral joint. This keystone, the very last joint where your spine meets your pelvis, is the most prone to becoming stuck, irritated, and forgotten. It is the silent shock absorber for every step you take, every chair you settle into, every time you bend to lift something from the floor. Over the years, small, unconscious habits, slouching on the couch, sitting with your feet raised, working from bed, can gently jam this joint out of alignment, locking it into a posture it was never meant to hold. You can stretch your hamstrings for hours, but if that foundational joint remains frozen, the pain will always find its way back. We call this phenomenon joint stacking, where years of uneven pressure compress a single, crucial link in your spinal chain. And when that link grows stiff, your brain sounds an alarm. It sends pain signals to protect the area, like a smoke detector blaring, even when there is no fire. This is why these 4 movements are so profound. They do not just loosen what is tight. They reteach your spine how to move. They reconnect you with the deep, stabilizing muscles. They restore freedom where rigidity has taken hold. This is a journey of retraining, not just relieving, and you are about to feel the difference. Our first movement begins with a simple return to the earth. Lie face down on a firm surface, perhaps a yoga mat or a carpeted floor. Allow your forehead to rest for a moment and simply breathe. Now, slowly and gently, press up onto your elbows, keeping your hips and pelvis connected to the floor. This is a soft, supportive back bend. You are not striving for height, only lifting enough to feel a subtle extension through your spine. Hold this position for 30 seconds, breathing calmly. If it feels too intense, lower yourself down for a few breaths before returning. With time, you can build up to a minute. What is truly happening here, beneath the surface? This is more than a stretch. It is a neuromechanical reset. We call it the reset position, because it does precisely that. It reverses the cumulative effects of slouched sitting, the very posture that jams the lumbosacral joint into its locked, painful state. In this position, you are gently signaling to your nervous system, we are returning to neutral. The relief can be astonishingly fast, not because you've suddenly become more flexible, but because that compressed joint is finally being allowed to breathe again. From a scientific view, this movement loads the spine in extension, reactivating dormant stabilizers and calming the pain signals from compressed tissues. But the deeper victory is this: it gives you back a sense of control. You are no longer waiting for an adjustment or relying on a temporary stretch. you are restoring motion to the most fundamental joint of your spine. When practiced daily, this simple act can quietly retrain your back out of chronic stiffness and into a newfound freedom. Our second movement is an invitation to unwind. Lying on your back, on a bed, or firm surface, bend your knees and bring them up toward your chest, so your thighs are vertical. Rest your arms gently out to your sides for stability. Now, with an easy breath, slowly let both knees fall together to one side, going only as far as feels comfortable. Then, just as slowly, bring them back through the center and over to the other side. Move in a slow, rhythmic, pendulum-like motion for about 30 seconds, or until you feel a gentle release. The goal is not to force a range of motion, but to gently mobilize the spine through rotation. This movement does more than work your body. It reassures your nervous system that it is safe to let go. We call it the gentle unwinding because it speaks directly to the part of you that has been locked in a protective brace. Think of your spine as a finely crafted zipper. When the very base is caught, the rest of it cannot move freely. This simple, rocking motion nudges that joint into movement softly and rhythmically, like oiling a rusty hinge. More than that, it reintroduces rotational movement, the missing link in our modern, linear lives. Your joints are filled with motion sensors that, when stimulated gently, send calming signals to your brain, reducing pain perception and easing muscle tension. Each side-to-side shift is a message to your spine. You are not stuck. You are moving. You are safe. And over time, this resets your body's baseline. Movements that once felt threatening become easy. Morning stiffness begins to fade and your body learns to relax instead of brace. Our third movement awakens a power you may have forgotten you possess. Begin on your hands and knees, with your hands aligned under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. Gently engage your abdominal muscles, as if bracing for a light touch. Now, lift your right arm straight out in front of you, thumb pointing up, while simultaneously hovering your left knee just an inch from the ground. Hold for 5 seconds, focusing on keeping your torso perfectly still. Return to the start, and then switch sides. Left arm out, right knee hovering. Move with slow, deliberate control. Repeat this several times on each side, just until you feel a mild fatigue. Here is something almost no one tells you about back pain. It often comes not from weakness you can see, but from deep muscles that have gone silent. We call this the deep core awakening because it rouses the multifidus, a series of small but vital muscles that act as the silent guardians of your spine. After 50, especially after experiencing back pain, the brain can begin to turn these muscles off. They stop firing correctly, and the spine loses its internal support system. But when you gently hover that knee, you re-engage those stabilizers. You are flipping the circuit breaker back on. This exercise rebuilds reflexive stability, your body's innate ability to protect itself. And the benefits ripple outward, improving not just pain, but your balance, your walking stability, and your defense against falls. You are not training for sculpted abs. You are rebuilding your spine's internal architecture. It is not about looking strong, but about being stable from the inside out. Our final movement may seem unassuming, but it is the key that unlocks true stability. Stand tall, facing a wall, with your feet shoulder-width apart. Place your fingertips lightly on the wall for balance. Shift your weight onto your left leg, keeping a soft bend in the knee. Now, lift your right leg slightly and begin to draw slow, wide circles with your knee as if moving through water. Forward, out to the side, around, and back in. Avoid any rushing or swinging. Continue for 30 seconds, then switch legs. We call this movement the pelvic compass because it reorients your body's internal GPS for balanced posture. The deep hip stabilizers are often the unsung heroes of a healthy back. When they weaken, a common reality after 50, the pelvis begins to tilt with every step, putting constant subtle torque on the lumbosacral joint. This exercise challenges your balance, mobility, and coordination all at once, activating the very muscles that keep your pelvis level and your spine neutral. From a scientific lens, it retrains your proprioceptive system, your inner sense of where your body is in space. As this system sharpens, not only does back pain diminish, but your risk of falling drops dramatically. This simple circle rebuilds your postural control and spinal alignment. It is one of the most underrated protectors of your long-term independence. Your hip circles might just be the most powerful movement your back has been begging for. Here is what I want you to remember. You are not fragile. You are adaptive. Your spine, your joints, your muscles, they have all been adjusting to how you have lived, not simply to how you have aged. This means change is always possible, not through punishment or force, but through intentional, intelligent movement. Start small. Choose just one of these exercises, performed once a day with focus and presence. And most importantly, do not chase the absence of pain. Chase the feeling of control, because when you move with purpose, your body listens. And when your body listens, it begins to heal. You may have come here looking for relief, but I hope what you have found is something more valuable, a way back to yourself. Pain can shrink our world, making us trust our bodies less and expect less from life. But every time you choose to move with intention, you are rewriting that story. You are saying, "This is not how it ends, this is how I begin again." These 4 movements are a dialogue with the deepest layers of your nervous system, a reminder to your brain that your body is still capable, still responsive, and still worthy of care. So let consistency, not intensity, be your guide. And if you felt even a single moment of release, a breath of freedom, or a flicker of hope, hold on to that. Build on it. Let it grow, because you are not your pain. You are not your age. You are a living, learning, adapting being, and the path back to your own strength is not behind you. It is right beneath your feet, waiting to be taken, step by step, movement by movement, with compassion, with curiosity, and with the quiet courage to begin.